In a distant future, humanity had spread across the stars. Earth, once a small blue planet, had grown into the center of a vast alliance of planets known as the Terran Confederation. But despite their peaceful advances, other alien civilizations watched Earth not with admiration, but with fear. On the bustling space station, Zenith 7, Captain Lyra Torres stood by the observation deck. She gazed out at the countless ships passing by. Some were sleek and elegant, built for speed and trade, while others were massive, adorned with weapons meant for war. Yet, there was something different about Earth's ships. They didn't look like warships at all. "Captain, we have received another message from the Galactic Council," Ensign Kira said, joining Lyra at the window. Her hands trembled slightly as she passed the data pad. "They're worried about the energy signatures from Earth." "Energy signatures?" Lyra furrowed her brow. "Isn't that what we measure for mining operations or starship engines?" "Yes, but they're detecting something unique. It's powerful." Kira hesitated. "They're concerned that Earth is developing something dangerous." Lyra thought about it. Earth had always been innovative. But could they really be creating something that would scare the whole galaxy? "Send a reply," Lyra said finally. "Tell them we're taking the matter seriously and will investigate." As the two of them walked through the corridors of Zenith 7, they passed various other officers, each deep in their work. The station was a hub of activity, where species from all corners of the galaxy mingled. Later that evening, Lyra gathered her crew for a meeting. The room, round and spacious, had a large table at its center. Her officers Kira, the enthusiastic young ensign, Rax, the stoic alien warrior from the planet Xyler, and Toli, the brilliant engineer with a knack for invention sat around it, awaiting orders. "Listen up, everyone," Lyra announced. "We've received word that the Galactic Council is worried about Earth's recent energy spikes. They think there's a new weapon being developed. We're going to investigate." "Rax, how quickly can our ship reach Earth?" Rax rubbed his chin thoughtfully. "If we leave now, we can make the jump within 3 days." His deep voice resonated in the room, giving everyone a sense of reassurance. "Perfect. Toli, prepare the ship for departure. Kira, I want you to monitor all communications coming from Earth." The crew quickly sprang into action, their purpose clear. Lyra felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness. What if Earth was indeed working on something dangerous? 3 days later, the starfield stretched out before them as the ship exited warp speed. Earth was blue and green against the blackness of space, an inviting sight, yet shrouded in mystery. Lyra ordered a sensor sweep as they closed in. "Captain, I'm picking up strange readings," Kira said, her eyes wide. "It's not just energy. There's a massive structure on the dark side of the moon." "A structure? Like a base?" Lyra asked, feeling the weight of the situation. "Yes, but it's unlike anything I've seen before. It seems dormant." Lyra nodded. "Let's get closer. I want to know what we're dealing with." As they moved closer, the ship's sensors picked up more data, revealing a large cylindrical object buried in the moon's surface. It was covered in dust, making it look ancient. "What do you make of it, Toli?" "I can't say for sure, but it seems like a ship or part of one. Earth's technology is usually advanced, but this doesn't match any known ship design." "Could it be a weapon?" Kira asked, chewing her lip nervously. "It could be, but we need to be careful." "We're going to land and investigate," Lyra decided. After preparing, the crew descended to the moon's surface in a small shuttle. The moon was quiet, every sound amplified in the thin atmosphere. As they approached the structure, the shadows danced eerily around them. They entered through a large cavernous opening, the light from their suits illuminating the darkness. Inside, the walls were lined with old symbols and strange markings that Lyra couldn't understand. Toli scanned the area, his device beeping softly. "There's a lot of energy here," he said, eyes wide. "But it's not active. It's sleeping, almost like a giant beast waiting to wake." Suddenly, Rax spotted a control panel covered in dust. "What is this?" he asked, wiping the surface clean. After a few moments, Tolly managed to power it up. The panel flickered to life, revealing a holographic display. "This looks like blueprints," Kira gasped. The hologram projected an image of a colossal ship, more impressive than anything they had ever seen. "This is incredible," Tolly murmured. "It's not just a warship. It's something else entirely. It can manipulate energy on a massive scale. But it's been abandoned." "Abandoned?" Lyra's heart raced. "Does that mean there's no weapon here after all?" Just then, a loud rumble echoed through the cavern, and the ground shook beneath them. "What's happening?" Kira shouted as dust fell from the ceiling. "I think the ship is waking up," Tolly cried, his eyes wide with both fear and excitement. As they scrambled for the exit, the structure began to pulse with energy. The hologram switched to a warning message in an alien language, accompanied by alarming sounds. "Get to the shuttle," Lyra ordered, adrenaline pumping through her veins. They dashed back through the cavern, but the ground shook violently beneath them. Outside, the shuttle's hatch stood open, and they leaped inside just as the structure exploded in a brilliant light behind them. The shock wave pushed them forward, the shuttle barely stabilizing. "Did we make it?" Kira gasped, breathless. Lyra looked back at the massive cloud of debris. "We did. But we need to report this. The galaxy needs to know." As they set course back to Zenith 7, Lyra reflected on their encounter. The galaxy feared Earth because the true potential they held was not a weapon. It was the power of innovation and technology they hadn't yet learned to unlock. The Council needed to understand that Earth was not building warships. They were still very much in the cradle of creation, and what lay ahead was something even the galaxy had not prepared for. And that was the only reason the galaxy needed to fear Earth. The potential they had was limitless. The year is 2742. Earth, once a fragile blue marble, now commanded the respect, or rather, the fear, of the entire galaxy. And the reason wasn't its mighty warships, its advanced weaponry, or its cunning strategies. The galaxy feared Earth for something far more mundane. Captain Eva Rostova, a grizzled veteran of countless interstellar skirmishes, stared at the holographic projection of the Cathar dreadnought, its shields flickering, its engines sputtering. The Cathar, a race known for their brutal efficiency and terrifying warships, were on the verge of surrender. They weren't surrendering to Earth's fleet, though. That fleet was small, almost insignificant compared to the Cathar armada. They were surrendering to something else. "Report," Eva said, her voice low. Lieutenant Jax, a young man barely out of the academy, swallowed. "Captain, sensor readings confirm. They're retreating. Away from the delivery trucks." Eva raised an eyebrow. "Delivery trucks?" The Cathar surrender was not an anomaly. Across the galaxy, empires crumbled, civilizations surrendered, and mighty fleets scattered, all before the unassuming presence of Earth's delivery system. It was a sight that sent shivers down the spines of even the most hardened space warriors. The story began decades ago. Earth, having finally mastered faster-than-light travel, had started its expansion into the galaxy. But Earth's military was surprisingly underwhelming. Their spaceships were adequate, nothing special. Their weapons, functional, but hardly groundbreaking. Their strategies? Let's just say, they were efficient, but not exactly awe-inspiring. Then came the logistics revolution. Dr. Anya Sharma, a logistics expert considered eccentric even by Earth standards, had proposed a radical idea: Treat interstellar conquest like Amazon Prime. Efficient delivery was paramount. Instead of focusing on powerful warships, Earth poured its resources into building a vast, incredibly efficient logistics network. The result was a sight that defied galactic understanding. Earth's fleets weren't composed of intimidating battleships but rather, of colossal cargo ships, each capable of carrying unimaginable amounts of goods. These ships moved with breathtaking speed, aided by a network of automated jump gates and a sophisticated AI that optimized every route and delivery schedule. But it wasn't just the efficiency that instilled fear. It was the cargo. Earth's delivery ships weren't carrying weapons or troops, they were carrying everything else. Imagine a Kadar warlord, used to commanding legions of warriors and deploying devastating weaponry, facing a seemingly endless stream of delivery trucks bringing knitting supplies, artisanal cheeses, reality TV shows, and Earth's most potent weapon, exceedingly comfortable, ergonomically designed office chairs. The Kadar, accustomed to brutal, high-stakes warfare, were completely unprepared for the sheer volume of mundane goods pouring from Earth's logistics network. Their sophisticated defense systems were useless against an onslaught of exquisitely crafted garden gnomes. Their seasoned soldiers were demoralized by the endless supply of comfortable slippers and strangely addictive potato chips. The Zidonian Empire, known for its ruthless conquerors, fell not to superior firepower but to an overwhelming wave of Earth's best-selling self-help books and suspiciously low-priced garden tools. The Galactic hegemony, renowned for its technologically advanced weaponry, surrendered after receiving a shipment of millions of fluffy kittens, a bio-engineered species designed for maximum cuteness. Eva watched as the Kadar dreadnought limped away, its powerful weaponry rendered useless, its crew probably arguing over who got the best ergonomic office chair. She smiled faintly. The galaxy feared Earth, not because of its military might, but because of its logistical genius. The next day, Eva received a transmission from Earth HQ. It was a routine delivery manifest. Among the usual goods, industrial-grade paper clips, hypoallergenic bedding, and an apparently high demand for Earth-grown tomatoes, she noticed something peculiar. Item 78B, 1, giant inflatable Earth-shaped beach ball. Eva chuckled. The galaxy feared Earth for its overwhelmingly efficient delivery system, a system so complete, so utterly dominant, that it rendered all military might irrelevant. It wasn't about conquering through force, it was about overwhelming the enemy with an unstoppable tide of stuff. And it worked. Brilliantly. The years passed. Earth's influence spread, not through conquest, but through the seemingly endless stream of its deliveries. Every corner of the galaxy received its share, high-quality coffee, comfortable shoes, and an endless supply of cat videos. Resistance was futile. Who could resist the sheer comfort and convenience of Earth's perfectly designed products? One day, a transmission arrived from the once feared Galactic hegemony. It wasn't a plea for surrender, but a request. A desperate, slightly embarrassed request for more fluffy kittens. Earth, naturally, obliged. After all, it was in their delivery schedule. And the galaxy, in its newfound comfort and utter bewilderment, happily accepted. The only thing the galaxy feared was the next delivery. And the next. And the next. Because Earth's logistics network was, quite simply, unstoppable. Their war machine wasn't about battleships and lasers, it was about the irresistible power of convenience, and the undeniable charm of an excellently crafted, ergonomically perfect, fluffy kitten. The year is 2742. Earth, once a fragile blue marble, now commands the respect, no, the fear of the entire galaxy. But it wasn't our warships, our lasers, or our tactical genius that earned us this reputation. It was something far stranger, something far more terrifying. It all started with the Kadar invasion. The Kadar were a fearsome race, masters of interstellar warfare, their ships sleek obsidian teardrops that blotted out the sun. They arrived with a fleet that dwarfed anything humanity had ever seen, boasting weapons capable of shattering planets. Their stated goal: complete annihilation of Earth. General Petrov, a grizzled veteran with eyes that had seen too much war, stared at the holographic projection of the Kedar fleet. His knuckles were white, gripping the armrest of his chair. His deputy, Commander Lena Hansen, a brilliant strategist known for her calm demeanor, even she looked pale. "They're too many, General," Lena whispered. "We stand no chance." Petrov sighed. "We have to try. We fight for our world, for our people." The battle began as expected, a desperate, one-sided struggle. Earth's defense forces, brave but hopelessly outmatched, fought valiantly but were pushed back. Cities crumbled, and hope dwindled. It seemed like the end. Just as the Kedar were about to deliver the final blow, a strange phenomenon occurred. A shimmering ripple appeared in space, not far from the main Kedar fleet. From this ripple emerged nothing. Absolutely nothing. A void, a black hole of nothingness that seemed to consume everything around it. The Kedar ships, those seemingly invincible obsidian teardrops, were pulled into this void, disappearing without a trace. One by one, they vanished, until the entire fleet was gone. The ripple faded, leaving an eerie silence where only moments before there was chaos and destruction. Earth scientists were baffled. They scrambled to understand what had happened, analyzing sensor data, running simulations, but found nothing that could explain the event. It was as if a cosmic eraser had simply wiped out the Kedar fleet. Word of this strange event quickly spread across the galaxy. Other civilizations, equally powerful and equally arrogant, had watched the Kedar invasion with morbid curiosity. They were shocked, stunned, even terrified by what they had witnessed. The Kedar were gone, utterly and completely erased from existence. By what? Nobody knew. The whispers started. Rumors circulated among the various alien races. They spoke of a secret weapon, a doomsday device held by Earth. But Earth had no such weapon. Their technology was impressive, certainly, but far from galaxy-conquering. Professor Anya Sharma, Earth's leading astrophysicist, dedicated her life to understanding the anomaly. Her team, a collection of brilliant minds from around the world, toiled tirelessly, poring over data, running simulations, constructing hypotheses, all to no avail. It wasn't a weapon, not in the traditional sense, Anya explained to Petrov and Hansen one day. It was something else. Something beyond our current understanding of physics. The truth, as it slowly unfolded, was far more unsettling than any weapon could be. Earth didn't have a secret weapon. Earth was the weapon. Earth, as it turned out, was an anomaly. Its very existence was a violation of the fundamental laws of physics, a cosmic glitch of unimaginable proportions. The planet wasn't just a planet, it was a nexus, a point of instability in the fabric of space-time. The void that had swallowed the Kedar fleet wasn't a weapon, it was a spontaneous reaction to the Kedar's aggression, a manifestation of Earth's unique and terrifying power. The galaxy soon learned this. One by one, alien empires sent emissaries to Earth, not to conquer, but to negotiate, to appease. They brought gifts, treaties, apologies, anything to avoid triggering another unexplained annihilation event. The fear wasn't of Earth's technology or military might, it was the fear of the unknown, the fear of a planet so fundamentally different, so utterly unpredictable, that its mere presence could erase entire fleets from existence. It wasn't Earth's warships that the galaxy feared, it was the terrifying realization that those weren't even Earth's warships. The galaxy feared Earth itself, a planet that was a walking, breathing paradox, a cosmic anomaly that defied all logic and understanding. General Petrov looked out at the Earth from his office window. The once terrifying Kedar fleet was just a distant memory. Now the view was calm and serene. Yet, a grim awareness settled on his features. The peace was precarious, the fear genuine. The galaxy had learned its lesson: mess with Earth, and risk ceasing to exist. The only question remaining was how long could humanity handle the responsibility of wielding such terrifying, involuntary power. Once upon a time, in a galaxy far, far away, there was a small blue planet called Earth. Most of the galaxy's powerful beings thought Earth was insignificant. They had their own grand wars and massive fleets, and they didn't pay much attention to this tiny planet filled with quirky humans. Little did they know that Earth was hiding a secret that would soon change everything. The galaxy had its own hierarchy. Above all was the Galactic Council, made up of the most advanced and powerful species. They controlled vast armies, each with ships capable of destruction that Earthlings could only dream of. The Zarnoks, known for their brutal strength, piloted ships that could block out stars. The Velians, masters of stealth, had fleets so silent that they felt like shadows. The Thraxians, brilliant strategists, could outthink any enemy. Earth was simply a dot in the cosmic map, and most people felt no need to include Earth in their interstellar affairs. However, there was a faction of scientists on Earth dedicated to space exploration. Led by Dr. Elena Green, a brilliant astrophysicist, they built a small spacecraft called the Unity. It was a ship not meant for war but for discovery. Dr. Green, along with her crew, including rugged pilot Max, and tech genius Lily, took Unity out into space to gather knowledge. They aimed to learn from other civilizations, to show that Earth was more than what met the eye. One day, while exploring a nearby star system, they intercepted a distress signal. It was weak and full of static, but they could hear cries for help. Dr. Green made the decision to investigate. The crew of Unity followed the signal to a derelict spaceship floating near a desolate planet. As they approached, they discovered it was a Zarnok ship, known for its extreme force. The crew was hesitant, but they had to help. As they boarded the Zarnok ship, they found only one survivor, a hulking creature named Grom. He was injured and frightened. "Help me," he croaked. His kind were known for their aggression, and yet here was a Zarnok, pleading for aid. Dr. Green's compassion shined through. "We will help you, Grom. You are safe now." Using their technology, Lily swiftly patched up Grom's wounds. With every passing moment, Grom transformed from a frightened being into an ally. He told them about the Zarnok Empire, a brutal regime that took over planets and enslaved those who opposed them. Although Grom was a fierce warrior, he didn't want to continue the cycle of terror. He wanted to change. The Unity crew made a bold decision. They would take Grom back to Earth, but they needed to warn others about the Zarnok forces. Just as they were about to leave, they detected approaching ships. Zarnok warships were on their way. The Unity was no match for them, but they weren't out of ideas. "Let's activate Unity's generator," Lily suggested. "We could create a distraction." The generator was designed for scientific experiments, but they could overload it to create a massive energy burst. They only had one chance. As they prepared the ship, Grom stood by, ready to defend them. "No one attacks Earth. I will show them." He slammed his fist into his palm, ready for battle. Max, always resourceful, explained, "If we time it just right, we can create an explosion that will look like a fleet of ships approaching. They will fear the unknown." Grom nodded, willing to fight for this newfound alliance. The Zarnok ships entered the sector, their intimidating presence looming large. The Unity crew activated their generator, and a bright light burst forth, illuminating the space around them. "Now!" yelled Max. They propelled Unity towards the Zarnok ships, creating the illusion of an entire armada. The Zarnok saw the light and panicked. Upon seeing what they thought was an overwhelming force, they turned their ships. They communicated in rapid fire, their voices filled with fear. "What kind of deceit is this? We cannot fight them. As they fled, the Unity's crew could hardly believe their eyes. They had held the might of the Zarnok Empire at bay simply by outsmarting them. In that moment, they understood the true strength of Earth, its people and their ingenuity. The galaxy had underestimated Earth, but the species on this little blue planet had a hidden power that did not come from technology or brute force. It came from courage and mind. When they returned to Earth, the news spread quickly. People were amazed to learn that a small crew had scared off one of the most dangerous factions in the galaxy. Though they did not have a fleet of weapons, their bravery and cunning gave them a power that no warships could match. Earth must unite, Dr. Green told the leaders of nations. We have shown that we can stand against the strongest. This is our moment. Slowly, a new sense of pride began to bloom in the hearts of the humans. They realized that being engineers, artists, and thinkers was their true might. As the years passed, Earth became known in the galaxy. They gained respect, becoming allies rather than mere observers. It was no longer seen as a small dot, but as a beacon of hope. The galaxy learned that one does not need size or strength to be feared. Sometimes, it is the heart and the mind that instill the most fear. And so, the galaxy began to fear Earth not for its ships, but for the spirit of its people, those who dared to stand up for what was right. Unity, understanding, and courage became the new language of Earth, and it echoed throughout the galaxy. In this vast universe, the story of Earth would be told for centuries to come, a legend of how those who were underestimated had taken a stand, not with warships, but with the power of compassion and intelligence. In a distant part of the universe, there existed a small blue planet called Earth. Most of the galaxies viewed Earth with indifference, thinking of it as a primitive place filled with struggling civilizations. However, beyond the veil of ignorance, a chilling truth lingered: Earth was feared across the cosmos, not for its warriors or advanced technology, but for something much stranger. The Galactic Council was assembled in their grand arena, a shimmering dome of light and color. Various aliens were present: tall blue beings with elongated heads, squat green creatures with many eyes, and sleek robots with shimmering metal bodies. Their discussions often revolved around threats and potential invasions, but today, the topic was Earth. Why do we fear them so? A speaker, a tall creature named Zora, asked. They seem so weak, yet there's a tremor in our ranks at the mention of Earth. What makes them different? A small, round creature known as Greeble chimed in, his eyes darting nervously. I've heard whispers. They say that those aren't even their warships. The crowd erupted into murmurs. The notion was absurd, yet it struck a chord of curiosity. What do you mean? A robust figure with scales, known as Jax, roared. Explain yourself, Greeble. Greeble took a deep breath, settling his round body as he sought to clarify. Earth has sent out ships into our galaxy. We have seen them on our borders. They are not military vessels. They are transport ships. And the creatures inside, they aren't warriors. They are explorers, travelers carrying nothing but curiosity. But they still frighten us. Fear grows from the unknown, Zora said thoughtfully. Earthlings are unpredictable. You see, they are different from us. They have emotions that guide their actions. We do not know what they will do next. As the council debated, a lone traveler from Earth was passing through the galaxy. Her name was Mia. Mia was a curious and adventurous soul who had always dreamed of exploring space. She boarded a small exploratory vessel that resembled a smooth stone, with strange markings, propelled by an unusual energy source that would make the longest journey feel like a stroll in the park. Mia's journey led her close to the Galactic Council's meeting place, and as she flew her ship, the council members noticed on their scanners. That ship! Jax exclaimed. It's heading straight for us. I thought they didn't have warships, a blue alien whispered. The ship landed softly in their grand arena. Mia stepped out, wide-eyed and excited. Hello. she called. I come in peace. The council members looked at each other, a mix of confusion and fear washing over their faces. They had heard about Earthlings' tendency to invade with their seemingly harmless ships. What would this Earth girl do? Zora decided to take a chance and approached Mia, asking, "Why have you come?" Mia smiled widely. "I just wanted to see the stars and meet new friends. I heard so many wonderful tales about other worlds. Can you show me around?" The members of the council, initially taken aback, slowly began to relax. Perhaps this was not a threat, but an opportunity. They cautiously agreed. As they traversed the council's grand arena, Mia marveled at the stunning sights. She learned about the different races, their cultures, and their histories. Curious and eager, she asked questions that made the aliens think deeply about themselves. "How do you communicate if you have no words?" she asked a telepathic race called the Elysia. With a mix of wonder and uncertainty, they explained their shared thoughts. Mia found it fascinating, but it was a far cry from the warmth of spoken words. Days went by, and Mia shared her own stories of Earth. The council became captivated by her tales of humanity, its good and bad, its creativity and destruction. They thought they understood Earthlings, yet their understanding deepened with every story Mia told. Meanwhile, in the shadows of the council's arena, discussions continued. What if she is just a scout? Greeble speculated. What if Earth is planning an invasion? No, Zora answered, her voice strong. We must confront our fears. If we mistrust her merely because she comes from Earth, we will never know what we might gain from collaborating. That very night, while stars twinkled above, Mia and some members of the council sat together. They shared food, laughter, and danced under the glow of an alien sky. Mia talked about Earth's music and art, how humanity created beauty in all forms. For the first time, the members of the Galactic Council felt a connection. As days continued to pass, the Galactic Council held gatherings to further discuss Earth and Mia's tales, unaware that their fear was slowly melting away. Mia's kindness and curiosity made them realize that understanding was the key to overcoming their dread. One day, Zora stood in their meeting place and said, "We must give the Earthlings a chance. If we share knowledge, maybe we can grow stronger together." Together, they decided to invite Mia back to Earth with a plan. Earth, in turn, would send representatives to the Council with the goal of forming an alliance. In the depths of space, shadows of fear loomed less, replaced by the flickering light of friendship. As Mia departed from the Council's home, she waved goodbye with tears of joy. The stars seemed brighter that day, twinkling with possibilities. Upon returning to Earth, Mia shared her experiences. People listened to her with open hearts. The Council of the Galaxies and Earth began building a bridge, not of fear, but of hope. The truth had unraveled. The only reason the galaxy feared Earth was because they did not understand its people. What they saw as warships were merely vessels of exploration. In a universe filled with complexity, it took one brave explorer from Earth to show that fear is often a product of misunderstanding. With thoughts open and hearts willing, they would steer their paths toward a united future, bridging worlds that were once feared to their fiery potentials. The year is 2742. Earth, once a pale blue dot struggling for survival, now commanded the respect, or rather, the fear, of the entire galaxy. This fear wasn't born from Earth's military might, not exactly. The galaxy feared Earth for something far more unsettling, the things that weren't Earth's warships. Captain Eva Rostova of the UNSC Valiant stared at the holographic projection. It showed a swirling nebula, beautiful but deadly. Within it, colossal structures, far larger than any known starship, pulsed with an energy that made even the seasoned captain uneasy. "Those aren't ships, Admiral," she said, her voice hushed. Admiral Chen, a veteran of countless intergalactic skirmishes, nodded grimly. "No, Captain. They're something else. Something far beyond our comprehension. The galaxy's fear began decades ago. Earth, having solved its own existential problems with remarkable speed, began exploring the cosmos. Initial contact with other civilizations was interesting. Many alien races were technologically advanced, boasting fleets capable of interstellar travel and devastating weaponry. Yet, they all held Earth in an almost religious awe. The turning point came during the Xylos conflict. The Xylos were a powerful empire, notorious for their brutal conquests. Their fleet, a terrifying armada of warships, threatened Earth. The UNSC, Earth's unified defense force, prepared for war. They had ships, yes, but their technology lagged behind the Xylos. Victory seemed impossible. Then, the builders arrived. No one knows what the builders are. They haven't communicated with anyone. They appeared near the Xylos fleet, silent and imposing. These were the colossal structures now studied by Captain Rostova and Admiral Chen. They didn't fire weapons. They didn't send probes. They simply were. And the Xylos fleet vanished. Not destroyed, not scattered, simply gone. One moment it was there, a formidable threat, the next, it was nothing but empty space. The Xylos Empire, once a fearsome force, crumbled. Their advanced technology, their ruthlessness, meant nothing against the builders' silent presence. Since then, other galactic powers had met similar fates. The Kryll hegemony, famed for its ruthless warlords, ceased to exist after a builder's appearance near their capital planet. The Zidonian Collective, a vast interstellar federation, simply stopped. All that remained were whispers of fear and awe. The UNSC, understandably, became the center of galactic attention. Other species sought alliance, terrified of becoming the next victim of the builders' enigmatic actions. The UNSC, however, held no answers. They were as baffled by the builders as everyone else. The theory is, Admiral Chen said, breaking the silence in his office, that the builders judge civilizations. They assess their worth, their potential for galactic harmony, and if they deem a civilization unworthy, they simply erase it. Captain Rostova shivered. It was a chilling thought. And what about us? Why haven't they erased us? Admiral Chen smiled faintly, a sad, weary smile. Perhaps they see something in us, Captain. Something worth preserving. Or perhaps, we're simply insignificant. Too small to warrant their attention. Either way, we live with the knowledge that our survival hinges on something beyond our control, something terrifyingly indifferent. The Valiant's mission was a routine patrol near the edge of known space. They were scanning for any signs of Xylos activity, a lingering remnant of paranoia. But their primary objective was observing the builders' activities, maintaining a watchful eye on the enigmatic structures. Suddenly, alarms blared. An unknown signal, powerful and strange, flooded their sensors. It emanated from deep within the nebula, from the builders themselves. Captain, Lieutenant Jones, the Valiant's comms officer, said, his voice tied with urgency. We're receiving a message. The message was a series of complex energy pulses, deciphered by the ship's advanced AI. It was short, blunt, and terrifying. It depicted a single image, a simple sketch of a human skull, next to the image of the builders. Captain Rostova stared at the holographic message, her breath caught in her throat. They know about us, she whispered. They know about Earth. The message contained no explicit threat, no demands, nothing but the chilling image of the skull beside the builders. It was a declaration, a warning, perhaps. Or maybe, simply an acknowledgement. The builders knew Earth existed. And that meant everything, and nothing, at the same time. The galaxy feared Earth not because of its warships, not because of its technology, but because it shared space with the builders. The galaxy knew Earth was somehow connected, somehow tolerated, by the cosmic force that wiped out civilizations with a silent gesture. And that was a far more terrifying prospect than any weapon. The fear wasn't of Earth itself, but of the unseen power Earth seemed to have stumbled upon. The power that made Earth, in the eyes of the galaxy, the most dangerous place in the cosmos, not because of its own might, but because of its proximity to the ultimate, silent judge. The fear of Earth was the fear of the builders, a fear that resonated throughout the galaxy, a fear that kept everyone watching, waiting, wondering what the builders might do next. The fate of the galaxy, it seemed, rested not on Earth's power, but on the whims of the enigmatic builders, and their connection, however tenuous, to the little blue planet.